given what's happened here, do you think that there was a better way, any better ideas to approach the whole? I mean, this is probably a whole other discussion, but do you think that there was probably a better way to approach the cost of college and the amount of debt that students need to assume in order to get a college degree these days?
Well, I mean, clearly there's different ways of looking at this. I mean, one of the things that I discovered as I was researching this issue brief is that both Australia and England have something similar to what the president is proposing and similar to what we have today, which is an income contingent repayment system. But in those cases, it applies to all students. In other words, as I mentioned before, currently students in the US have a choice. They can choose the regular 10-year repayment plan, or they can choose some other plan. And it's an option, and not all students understand. I mean, in fact, part of the problem is there are multiple options that students can choose today in the US. Whereas in England and Australia, it's just one plan. You go to school, the government lends the money that's, you're in a sense taking out a loan, the money goes to the college, it pays for your loan, you graduate, and then you pay it back. And what you pay back is based on your income. And that makes a lot of sense. I mean, if you think about it, the typical college graduate, a 4-year bachelor degree student, over their lifetime, they'll make $1 million on average more than a high school graduate. So you can look at college as being an education, college is an investment in your future that, on average, college students earn a lot more, and therefore they're investing in their future. And it makes perfect sense. I mean, every business in the country borrows money to make an investment in their business. And as a person, you invest in your future. You go to college, you get your degree, you have a higher standard of living throughout your life, and you repay it back. And in England, it's a 25-year repayment period. In Australia, it's unlimited. If your income is low enough, you would go to your grave still owing on your student debt, because the argument is you made an investment, you earn the return as higher earnings, and you should repay your loan. And I'm afraid what the president is doing is he's not trying to figure out how to make it easier for people to pay back their loan. He's trying to figure out how to make it easier for people not to repay their loans. And I think that's a fundamental difference. And if just in terms of the cost of college, clearly there are things that we could do. I mean, the typical student, only 40% of 4-year college students complete in 4 years. And if you start to college, you're going to get a bachelor's degree. It should take you 4 years. 40% of students actually finish in 4 years. Most of them take 6 or 8 years. Well, obviously, the longer it takes you to finish college, the more it's going to cost you, the more you're deferring getting a job and earning money to repay your loan. So, it hurts you on both ends. You incur more debt and you delay repayments, which means there's more interest. So, there are things that we could do to help students graduate on time. I mean, for example, a lot of high schools offer AP classes and IB classes. If we encouraged students to do that at the high school level, and we then encourage the colleges to give them credit for the classes that they take that are comparable to what they would take as freshmen, a lot of students could finish in 3 years. And if you finish a 4-year degree in 3 years, you've reduced the cost by 25%. So, there are things we could be doing that would require coordination at the high school level with the college level that would help students get through school on time, or perhaps even ahead of time. And, time is money. You get done sooner, you borrow less, you start earning more. It makes it a lot easier to repay your debt.